Thank you, Trey. Retired four-star General Jack Keane in studio. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's come back to Israel and Hezbollah in a moment. And let's start here with what happened this week, because there's an alliance that we need to pay attention to. Wall Street Journal, here you go. How Putin rebuilt Russia's war machine with help from U.S. adversaries. Iran, North Korea, and China are supplying the people and know-how to tool up Russia's factories and churn out arms for the war in Ukraine. This relationship could be very dangerous for us for a very long time. How do you see it?
Yeah, very much so. 4 days after the State of the Union, our intelligence chiefs came before a scheduled meeting with the Congress, and they said these 4 countries that you identified here represent a threat to the United States we haven't seen in multiple decades. In looking at this, what we're really facing is collaboration and cooperation among 4 distinct allies. China is a near-peer competitor. Russia is a chronic threat. Iran seeks domination of the Middle East, and in North Korea has a nuclear arsenal with ballistic missiles that can reach the United States. This is serious. We believe at ISW that we haven't seen a threat like this since World War II. Why? Because we could get involved in more than one war in multiple theaters. That is really the issue that we're facing. And here's the problem, Bill. The intelligence chief said this is very serious. We haven't seen it in decades. We're saying we haven't really seen anything like this since World War II. Where is the administration having a frank conversation with the American people about the seriousness of this threat and how it would impact American security? It is not happening. And that is pretty outrageous and shameful.
This as we continue to see these escalating clashes happening in the Middle East. Trey Yingst just gave us a full report between Israel and Hezbollah. Do you believe that they are inching closer to all-out war?
Yeah, they are. And the Israelis have made up their minds that they need to take a look at the Hezbollah situation. We have a map here, hopefully we can bring it up here, that deals with it. But the reality is that 80,000 people who lived in northern Israel have evacuated from northern Israel. And in a sense, Hezbollah has redefined the boundary of northern Israel. Yeah. The Israelis believe they have got to go in there and deal with Hezbollah. Mm-hmm. And they have to push them back across the Litani. That's not the right map, but they have to push them back across the Litani River. Mm-hmm. This is 18 miles from the border. That is the issue. To push them back, they have 2 choices. Run an air campaign only, mm-hmm, to obviously bomb them and force them to evacuate, or go in on the ground and also conduct an air campaign. Hezbollah is formidable. Hamas is nowhere near Hezbollah's capability. Hezbollah doesn't have the subterranean tunnel complex. But here's the problem. 150,000 rockets and missiles can reach any town or any city and swarm those towns and cities. A force of close to 100,000, not just a terrorist organization, but organized as military formations with artillery and fighting vehicles. When the Israelis went in there in 2006, after several weeks trying to do the same thing, push the Hezbollah back, yeah, after several weeks, the operation had failed, and they retreated out of Lebanon, and all 3 service chiefs were relieved of duty as a result of it. They know this will be a very tough fight, but they believe they have to do it if they're going to maintain the sovereignty of Israel and have the border that they want to have.
18 years later, it could be a hot summer again in northern Israel. Let's see if that's the case. Now to Ukraine. We do have a map we can show that you and I have talked about at great length. And what it shows is the Ukrainian capacity on behalf of their military, with extensive help from Western nations, including the United States, with the capacity to hit Russian forces on the Russian side of the border. But this map shows you where the Russian troops are and where the Ukrainians are not allowed to hit.
Yeah, we have a huge problem here, and the administration isn't coming clean about what's actually happening here. Can we put the map back up so I can talk to it a little bit? Yeah, you see that bright red area there across from Ukraine? That is where we can fire HIMARS, or what they call guided multiple rocket launchers, into that. That's 75 kilometers into that. But see all the gray area outside of that? That's the Russian sanctuary where we cannot fire. That's all Russian territory. All the air bases that Russia is using to bomb Ukraine are largely in that area. Those are those little white circles there. Their ground bases, their logistic bases are all in that area. And the administration has told Ukraine they cannot fire the weapons that we've given them, the ATACMS missiles, to fire into that territory. That is absolutely makes no sense to not be able to do that. And it's really handcuffing them in their ability to protect their own people, but also in their ability to bring down the military capability that Russia has. It is very, very vulnerable. And even Russia, they've been on the offense because Ukraine has been on defense this year because they were waiting 6 months to get the weapons. They haven't made much progress at all. They showed up with new soldiers. They're poorly trained, poorly equipped. They made some tactical gains, but were never able to really develop operational maneuver to take significant amount of territory. They took very high casualties, all like they did back in the beginning of the invasion. Ukraine, we can turn the tide in their favor, and the administration has got to stop handicapping them.
General, thank you. We'll see whether or not that happens, whether that day arrives. And if it does, we'll see what Putin does at that point. Thank you, General.
Great to have you here, General. Thank you.
Great discussion.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.